All right, guys, I am here with Mr. Chuck Myers. Chuck Myers is an old, good customer of mine since I pretty much started here. Come in the other day and said, you know what, I'm going to do that Z that we looked at. Coming in here on Saturday, he says, I want this in blue. Can you get it in blue? Well, that Syrian blue is right here, absolutely gorgeous from front to rear. This car was actually in Lawton, Oklahoma on Saturday, and now we're delivering it to him today. It is Monday, and got everything ready for him. So I'm going to go over some of the features with him, and if he has any questions, hopefully he don't stump me too bad. But so far, just a quick look at it. Mr. Myers, what do you think about the way it looks?
It's a beautiful, beautiful car, and I can't wait to get in it.
Can't wait to get in. We're going to be doing that here in a few minutes. Mr. Myers is a Nissan fan. He does have a Frontier. What is it, a 2013 Frontier, and he has a 2003 SER Sentra, which is kind of a pretty much sought after vehicle too. You know, Nissan has these sports cars and even went into the sports sedans, and they're very iconic, especially when you go to the Z car, no longer having a nomenclature with a number in front of it, and I'll explain to you why that is. So in 1969 is when they first came out with the Z car, going into production in 1970. Okay, and that was a 240Z at a 2.4 liter. Engine. So going through its history, every time you see the number in front of it, 2.4, it's a 240. The 2.6, 260, 2.7, 270. So you kind of see how Nissan stepped it up. When they were Datsun and got bought out in 1984, that's when they became the Nissan Z car. A couple of variants went from the Z to the ZX, indicating there is a turbo. So all the way up to the most recent before this model was the 370Z. That was a 3.7 liter, so hence the term 370. But guess what Nissan did? Nissan went back to the 300 engine. That's a 3.0 liter. This is a twin turbo, whereas the 300Z only had a single turbo. Okay, this car makes 400 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque at 1,600 RPM. That's pretty low RPM for all that torque. This car is meant to get you off the line fast. Nothing's going to stop it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the hood, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff on the front. You have any questions on any of the history there?
Let's see what the hood shows.
Let's see what the hood shows. So we're going to go over here. Let's pop that hood for you. One of my favorite parts about this car is this long hood.
Yeah, it looks like it's even longer than the Nismo.
So there is your twin turbo V6. You can see everything is very tight in here. You don't want a lot of movement on a high performance car, and you don't want a lot of airspace on a high performance car. Everything in here is designed for performance. Okay, even your cross member here.
Yes.
That cross member is going to keep that sway to a minimum. You have a lot of sound dampening material in here, and you also have active ride control. What that means is it's going to keep you in your lane, it's going to keep you on your intended path, and it's going to keep you quiet. Okay. That active ride control with active noise canceling, it's going to allow the radio in here, because this is a Bose system, it's going to kind of give you these subliminal tones to draw out any kind of road noise or anything else, keeping it quiet. Since this is a high performance engine at a higher RPM, you won't hear that drone, which is awesome.
Like this insulation here.
Yeah, all of that is going to be for your aerodynamics. It's going to stop any air from getting trapped up underneath there or escaping, and it's also going to keep all your cooling down in here. Okay, this does have an active shutter guard. If you look in the front here, one of the things that I want to say about the Nissan, they don't take anything away from safety. So right behind here is your intelligent forward collision warning. Okay, that's going to let you know what's going on. Two vehicles in front of you. You also have your sensors here and over here. That's going to let you know if you're getting too close to something. Since this does have a lower nose, you're going to want to see, and you can't see over, you can't see where the curb is at. This is going to let you know where you're at. It's going to give you a beep to let you know how close you're getting to it. Okay.
What is this little hole here?
That little hole there, that's where your mount's going to be for your license plate.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there's a lot of things that go into this that are all part of the design. Even that lower air dam down there, that lower air dam is for anything that gets kicked up on the road to stop it from hitting. You can see where your transmission cooler and everything is right down in there. So it's trying to keep everything safe. That's all behind there.
That's great, especially in lousy weather conditions.
Yeah, lousy weather conditions. Yeah, you get that a few times here in Texas, right? So,
Yes, unfortunately.
with this, one of the big things about this is everything is still up here on top where it's easily accessible. You really don't want to do all the stuff for yourself.
Twin air cleaners?
Yep, you have your air cleaners. That's for both sides. That's going to be your suction for your turbos. Okay, since this is a twin turbo as well. Okay, so pretty nice what they did there. If you kind of notice the long swept nose, that's paying homage to the original, the 240 Z.
I noticed that the engine block here is that an aluminum alloy?
It is an aluminum engine block. All right, so that cuts down on some of the weight of the car. So this car comes in just over 3,600 pounds. So 3,600 pounds of 400 horsepower. It's going to move you. You had said you wanted something that could get you in and out of traffic. You're traveling back and forth to Colorado. We're going to Vegas in a couple of weeks and everything. You're going to take this on that trip. Yeah, you'll get there pretty quick. So,
well, as long as the police aren't around.
Well, we won't talk about the police. But chances are they'll probably pull you over just to kind of look at this to see how beautiful this car is. All right, this Syrian blue is carried all the way through. It is a tri-coat, so there is multiple colors underneath this paint. It's very hard to see, but when that sun hits it, there is a black and a gold undertone, which gives it that pop, okay? So if you want, let's take a walk around over here. Coming over here on the side.
Was this a sensor too?
Yes, sir. That's one of the sensors too. Okay, so coming over here on the side, we were talking about like rim size and everything else. So these are a different size from the front to the back. These are 19-inch rims, okay, and it's 9.5 up front. It is 10 inches in the back. A little bit more width in the back gives you a little more traction. Okay, this does have the anti-slip brakes, so that if you slam on the brakes, it's going to lock up. It's not going to lock up on you. It's going to allow the tires to spin freely to stop you as it needs. Okay, so kind of keep in mind, even if you slam on the gas, it's going to kick that throttle back. Okay, so it won't break traction on you. This is designed to grab and go. So that's why you have a little bit wider rim and tire on the back. So one of the things that you will have to do though is when it comes time for rotation, you don't rotate these like normal tires, okay? They'll put the left on the right on the left. They'll do the same for the front, but when it's time to replace, you got to replace all four. Performance vehicles you got to do this with. You don't want to keep bald on one side and not bald on the other, okay? So if you kind of look at the long swept design, this kind of pays homage to the 270Z, okay? And even the line, even the small line right down here, okay? That is paying homage to one of the Z years, okay? Everything on this vehicle, if you overlay from the 240 all the way up to the 370, if you kind of overlay them, this is the silhouette that you get. So everything on here is paying homage to a different decade. Even the roof line on this is going back to the 350. The back end is going to be like the 300. So they give a little bit of everything. This is built on a 370 chassis. So it's very familiar with that because that was one of our most popular and probably our best performing Z. So a little bit lower. We're as low as we could go on the front that we're allowed to go. The first Z that came out had a very low front end, okay, with the pop-up lights. Can't do that anymore. The National Transportation Safety Board says the vehicle has to be at a certain height. So that's where we're at. We're as low as we could go on that.
Would we need to have mud flaps on this thing in foul weather?
No. You want that to kick out. Okay. You don't want anything getting trapped inside of your wheel well, okay? It's a little bit different on a truck, but a car this low, you need that to kick out. You don't want that getting back in there, okay? The tires on here are all-weather performance tires, so they're going to react really good in rain, in sleet. If you're going up in Colorado, I mean snow, you are going to want to probably put this in an eco mode so it'll kick back that throttle a little bit, okay?
Potenza?
Potenza, yes sir. Potenza, they're a performance tire. You see them on a lot of European cars and everything. Little known fact that the Z over its years have really, they've been a staple for Nissan, but they've also been a source of, what's the word I'm looking for, inspiration for cars like the Corvette. Okay, the Porsche. If you look at a 1980s Corvette and you go back to the Z, you'll see where lines are kind of shared. Okay, even the Porsche with the round and everything on the 370, you'll start to see some of those lines, and some of the aerodynamics on this, there's a lot of inspiration coming from that. So kind of a cool feature there. One of the other cool features, if you want to check out over here, right here along the side, that is your LED turn signals, okay? That does, you see what I'm talking about? It does stick out just a little bit more than the cap of your rear view mirror there, and that's so the person behind you could see you, okay? Right. So without that, without that, they might be right on the side of you and not see that you're turning. Right. So that's going to give them great visibility, all right, which is kind of a great safety feature all on its own. All right.
Sounds good.
So I do want to just show you kind of some of the stuff on the inside here. We're not going to hop in yet. You do get the lit up Z that says, hey, I'm a Z. But look at that interior. That blue interior matches the outside.
It is beautiful.
Very, very often I see cars that have one color outside and they try to match that color on the inside, and it's so different that it kind of looks like out of place. Nissan really stepped it up with this, going with the blue. This is our brochure vehicle right here. This is the one that everyone looks at. So you're getting probably the most iconic one out there. You know, this is destined to be a fair lady. You know, one of the most collectible cars right now is a JDM car that's from Japan, and it is a Fair Lady Z, and that's the 240. That's the original. So, you know, we're going back to roots on these cars all the way around. Okay, you do get a 13.8-inch rear brake, and you do get the Brembo style brakes. These are a 4-piston caliper on there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you get a 14-inch front. Okay, so more stopping power, since 80% of your stopping power is on the front of your car. You need a bigger brake back up front there.
4 pistons, huh? That's great.
Yeah, and you could see the size difference between the piston on the front on this one and the piston on the back. Okay, this car is really meant for cornering and for getting out of those corners really fast. That's what that active ride control really kicks in, because it allows you to hold a higher RPM when you're coming out of that corner, and it'll stop you from actually breaking traction on the back. And you could turn that off if you really want to be super aggressive. You could turn all of that off. You could do the sport mode and use the paddle shifters and use this transmission as a manual, and that's kind of a lot of fun too. You know, so that's when you would turn off all of your vehicle dynamic control and active ride control.
Done by vocal?
No, that is a button on the inside. We're going to go over all of those features a little bit later on when we go on the test drive, okay?
Sure.
So come on back here. We're going to look at your back. A couple of things to note in the back. You kind of see where it has that 300 inspired rear. It does have the stainless steel finishers on the back for that dual exhaust, okay? And it does have pretty good trunk space. Okay, so if you're looking at it, a lot of people don't see it because it's actually hidden right underneath the logo.
Oh, yes. So that's, okay.
You feel it?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, right? And if you look over here on the side, this is going to be your rear view camera. Okay, so to let you know when you're getting, and then your sensors are here and here, just like you have on the front. So this is going to be an all-around sonar, so it's going to protect you all the way around. Since it is a low vehicle, this is going to let you know if you're getting too close to something. Really good in drive-throughs and stuff like that, okay?
When you're waxing it, do I have to be very careful about not getting anything on it?
No, not necessarily. Just make sure that they stay clean. That's the biggest thing. I like to tell everybody, since these sensors are all calibrated, you have to be really careful on the bump, okay? I see all too many times where somebody bumps a vehicle, and this is across every manufacturer. Yes. These are calibrated, so if you knock them out of calibration, there are actually, behind the bumpers, there is bump indicators to let a tech know that, you know, whether it's something that needs to be serviced or something that needs to go through insurance, if you would. But yes, you want to keep those areas clean, and you want to keep them free of kids maybe playing soccer in your neighborhood or something like that. Okay.
Well, am I going to get 2 suitcases in here?
I think so. It depends on how big of a dresser you are. So a couple of things down here.
I was thinking about women.
Oh well, I don't know. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff on there. You might need that first aid kit. Okay, so that's going to come in too with you. Okay, this is going to be your netting that goes across here that you could hold stuff in.
Okay.
Okay. You were asking about an owner's manual. Look, that's the old-fashioned owner's manual. No computer, nothing like that. And this is going to be your license bracket we were talking about for up front. Okay. And we're going to have all of this put on when your plates come in. We're going to leave them back here for now. So we're going to go over that owner's manual here a little bit more in a little while when I go through everything that we are going to do on the computer and the tablet. So any questions on any of that?
Is this another sway bar?
That absolutely is a sway bar. This is what keeps the frame rigid. Okay, since this is a car that's destined for the track.
I'm sorry. That means it handles better in wind.
Yes, it's gonna handle better in any condition just because of how stiff and rigid this multi-link suspension is. It does have the double wishbone aluminum front suspension, and it also has aluminum rear suspension on this as well. This does have a monotube downshock to buffer that front end from going up and down. So, like I said, this thing is built for the road, and it's also built for the track with very little that you would need to do to it if you wanted to
Racing.
If you wanted to race it. And a tune, maybe, if you wanted to do a tune. Okay. So coming around over here, this is going to be your gas. You are going to use premium gasoline, okay? That's going to give you your best performance all the way around, okay? That's where everything is rated with that. So, and this will let you know if it's up, if it's locked. This does have your lock down here, okay? So that when you lock your vehicle up, nobody could steal that gas, okay? So,
okay, I got you.
So over, and one more thing I'm going to go over real quick is if you'll notice that you do have the button on the side here. Okay, that's to unlock and lock your doors. You don't ever have to take your keys out of your pocket. Okay, all you got to do is walk up to it, press it, and get in. So if you have that special someone that you're going to give an extra key to, give them a key and they could unlock it from their side too if they get there before you do. Many times I know I'm at Sam's Club, my wife gets to the vehicle before I do. I don't have to open it for her, she can, okay? And you could open it from your side the same way too, okay? So any questions on any of that?
Excuse me? No.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to hop you in the front seat over here. Okay, if you want, go ahead and have a seat. We're going to take this thing out and I'm going to go over all the safety features, what they look like on the inside of the vehicle. And one of the things I do want to talk to you about is that noise canceling from the Bose surround. Okay, it's going to mimic road noise to balance that out.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. It's easy to show and everything, and we'll go from there. All right?
And these are adjusted all the way down, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you're down. You wanted a tight car, sports car? Here you go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, sir. Let me come around, and then we'll go over to inside.
All right. Shall we put down the hood and everything first?
I sure will. I'll get it for you. All right.